Hello and welcome. This is Walk a Mile in My Shoes, episode 2. Long awaited for some, unbeknownst to most. But we ballin'. Back and better than ever. Whatever impressions you had of this, that you previously had, like, oh, it's not funny, it's shit. Get ready to lose that, because this time it's back with a vengeance. And slightly late, as all good things are. On my walk to the walk today, on my commute to the walk, I saw a guy and he had he was dribbling everywhere. I don't really know what was up with him, but he was he had a really wet mouth. It was like this puddle right here. It was further than moist. He had gone further than it just being damp or moist, and he had a really wet mouth. And a wet mouth is a saliva smuggler in French, I believe. You can fact check that if you want. I'm pretty sure it's correct. But yeah, people be having wet mouths nowadays. Well, they always have been. But there's a high frequency of them. People spit when they talk, like on the train the other day. This guy was talking and his spit was like ejecting. It was almost going onto the next seat almost. And it was daunting, to say the least. It was, yeah, I'm glad I wasn't in the splash zone. I was next to him, not opposite. But if I'd been opposite, I would have been worried. His wife's probably happy though. And that's the first sexual innuendo. Many more to come, hopefully. But yeah, this guy, he'd been dribbling. I thought he might have had rabies or something, so I wasn't going to pass judgment instantly, but yeah, man, he had a wet mouth. And it reminds me of a time when I was in year 1, and that is, you know, how old is that? 9 years old, maybe? No, that's not. No, he's up 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. And this teacher, she asked me to do something completely non-trivial, but I didn't want to do it. So I turned around and I spat on the floor and gave him one of them. Oop, ladybug, get the fuck off me. But yeah, I turned around and spat on the floor. For no reason at all. I remember I was like, you know, fuck you, I'm gonna spit on your floor. And yeah, you piss me off, I'll spit on your damn carpet and I won't clean it up. How does that sound? Don't fuck with me. I'm a mad son of a bitch. But yeah, I remember doing that in year 1. And then she gave me a red card or whatever and made me clean it up with a bit of blue paper towel. So that was embarrassing, but stick to your morals. Someone piss you off, spit on the carpet. That's what my morals are. That's what my moral compass is based off of. Spitting on people's carpets. Just gave some nice women directions. I know this place like the back of my damn hand. I didn't talk like that. I just told them where they were meant to go. But, you know, let them know I'm one of the good ones. But yeah, in recent times, I have been commuting. About an hour and a half commute there to uni every day, and about an hour and a half back as well. God, this wind is ruining my hair. Making me look bald. Maybe I am bald. Maybe it's all a lie. But been commuting. Been doing a lot of people watching. Like I said earlier, I saw that man with the spitty mouth on the train. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, really. You know, a train is just a travelling circus for depressed office workers and bellends who wear gilets or body warmers, but gilet sounds like a more knob-headery thing. And yeah, train, it's just a depressed travelling circus, really. Just stop off at different places to spread misery, because everyone in London's a bit of a dickhead, and most of them wear gilets. You've been lied to. The devil doesn't wear Prada, he wears a gilet. And I've had a few experiences so far with gilet clad bellends, and yeah, I just feel like if you work in an office and you wear a gilet, your sexual partner of choice is probably someone that likes to beat other people or likes to significantly injure their partners. So yeah, gilet people, you're submissive little bitches. That's what I'm trying to say. And people think like gilets are like high society or whatever, like you're a posh and you're wealthy if you wear a gilet. But you know, I just feel like, you know, it's like putting a ribbon on a turd. Because, you know, it may seem high society and whatever, but underneath it's just a shell of a human. Or a twat, is another way to put it. But yeah, gilet, turd ribbon, that's what they are, turd ribbons. They make a shit look desirable to some people. Anyway, not to me. I see through their lies. They ain't fooling me. Yeah, one thing I've noticed travelling into London is everyone there is just sort of emotionless and not very nice. Or a shell of a human. A shell with a unhealthy relationship with knife crime. That's what I'd say it is. But yeah, there's probably better things to have an unhealthy relationship with, like drugs or alcohol, and not knife crime. So Sadiq Khan should probably do something about that. He's got a foul mistress and it's pointy and hurts people. That's quite a rubbish metaphor, really. But yeah, I say hi to people on the train and then they just look at me as if I'm like weird or have some kind of disability. Or like they look at, when I say hi, they like sort of say hi back, but then they're like I'm wearing a shirt that's got "I have AIDS and I'm gonna spread it" written on the front and back, which I don't. I usually wear a plain t-shirt with no mottos on it and no sexually transmitted diseases. Yeah, people need to be nicer in London. People just need to be nicer in general. I know what you're thinking. Whoa, Evan, you're getting too philosophical here. You're an incredible mind. No one's ever thought of that before, but it is true. People are dickheads and they don't say hi back to you or good morning back to you. And if everyone starts being nice again, it makes me look a bit less weird. Because right now I get looked at really funny when I try and just say hi to people. But yeah, a couple of days ago on my train journey, while I was reading a book, which I'm going to talk about later, because yeah, that's right, book club is returning. Woo! Hot bang! But yeah, while I was on my commute reading my book, I was like, oh look, Taylor Swift's got a new album, maybe I'll listen to it, maybe it'll be good. And I don't like Taylor Swift very much. I think her music is bland and unintelligible. But I listened to this one, and not only are just all the songs like completely plagiarized, like Where Is My Mind on there by the Pixies, that's a banger, and Taylor Swift should stop stealing it. yeah, not only was that on there, but also like most of the songs are about Travis Kelce's throbbing penis, and that wasn't particularly exciting to me. You know, I'm not homophobic, I can appreciate a good looking man, but yeah, that was a bit too much. Hearing about his dick for like 12 minutes. So yeah, that was my Taylor Swift experience. I realised that I'm not gay. That made me realise it. Not the fact that I've never been attracted to men for my entire life, but that made me realise I could never be gay. Talking about dick, just it's too uncomfortable, man. It's actually a really nice day. Sun's out, sky's blue. This might be the last nice day of this year, because it's turning into winter now. All the leaves are falling off the trees and whatnot. And right here is where I was yesterday. Well, not yesterday, Sunday, when I tried to record this the first time, but the audio got messed up. And there was loads of cows here, and I talked to some cows. I went up and patted some cows on the back. And it was fun, but they're not here anymore. And I made friends with one of them in particular. Called it Dinner. I think that was quite a good name. It was between that and Raise the Stakes, but I thought that Raise the Stakes was a bit of a shit name. Like, it's a good pun, but it's a bit shit. So yeah, now there's no cows, I'm just talking to myself in a field, and that looks a bit weird from an outsider's perspective. Probably think I'm schizophrenic. But, you know, that's a possibility. Always a possibility. Shell ducks in the wild. Check them out. They're not particularly rare or anything, but still, that's pretty cool. And this is where yesterday I saw a heron, which is a nasty son of a gun. Yeah, what's good, homie? It's my best friend now. How close are they gonna let me get? What's up, fellas? You want a drink? I don't think they drink. Fucking rude, that, innit? Didn't even give me a response. I just offered to buy you a drink. Yeah, they probably don't like alcohol. How about a Coke? Or a Pepsi? I don't know what you guys prefer. Is it better or worse that I was just talking to myself or talking to a pair of ducks? Shell ducks. Which is better? I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty schizophrenic. It's chill though. I'm just gonna sit over here, guys. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit right here. Is it wet? Nah, it's alright. What are you moving away for? Got my fingers in the way. Why are you moving away? Just wanted to talk. No means no, guys. They don't want to talk. They don't want tea. Oh, I wasn't speaking their language. I think they come from North Africa, I think, originally. So, what language do they speak there? Who knows? Maybe Spanish. Hombre. Gringo. That's Spanish, but with a Mexican accent. Maybe they are Mexican. Gringo. I don't think they're Spanish either. And that is a new segment for 2 minutes of Evan talks to ducks and debates his life choices. I don't know if you can hear them quacking, but it's quite cute. Anyway, Yeah, on that tree over there is where I saw a heron on Sunday. Herons are a nasty piece of work because they just swoop down and they steal fish right out of your pond. That's what they do in my pond, in my garden. They come down, they eat fish. And oh, that's cute, they're walking off together like a little couple, a little married couple. Anyway, stop getting sidetracked. But yeah, herons are nasty pieces of work, man. They haven't done an honest day's work in their life. They're the elites of the fish hunters. They're like the Epstein of birds. You know, they take from others. They take from the ones who can't afford to be taken from. But they're also a bird, so that sounds pretty fucking stupid. Does anyone know how to grass whistle? Because I can. Wait, let's see if I can do it. Oh, this is a little cute angle with the blue sky. Look, you get the grass like that. That didn't work. I might have to edit this out. You know, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll keep it raw. That's what my what kind of joke can I make for that? Let's keep it raw. That's what Bonnie Blue said to me at the back of the line, and that was disgusting. Oh no way, that echoed across the river and a bunch of birds flew away. Yeah, I'm a man of many talents. I'm not just schizophrenic and have the ability to talk to a camera for many, many minutes. I can also whistle with grass. And that sounds like a euphemism. That's what my gay friends do. They whistle with each other's grass. Book club this week. Book club, Free Will by Sam Harris. It's kind of a sciencey book, again non-fiction because I don't really read fiction, but Free Will by Sam Harris, that's the book name. And it says what it does on the tin. It is a philosophical book of sorts about free will. And I've been reading a lot of free will literature, and I've come to the realization that I'm a determinist, which means I think everything is sort of decided by something else, not by your consciousness. Like your subconscious makes decisions before your consciousness does. And yeah, reading free will literature on a train in public it's a strange thing to do. People look at you with funny. They do. They're like, ooh, is this guy like one of them jarring philosophy bros? And no, I'm not. I'm not one of those jarring philosophy bros. You can count me out on that one. But yeah, reading that in public in university, I had one guy tell me that I'm homosexual and one guy tell me that I'm autistic for reading that book. And, you know, in the court of public opinion, there's definitely worse things to be a mix of. And that's not a race joke, just to clarify. That is like, you know, there's worse things to be a mix of, like a heroin addict and a rapist sort of thing, which you definitely don't want to be. But gay and autistic, that's one of them things where, you know, you could live your life perfectly fine knowing other people think you're gay and autistic, I reckon. And if I was any one of those things, I think I'd be a sexy gay and autistic person mix. I'd do it better than anyone who did it before me, definitely. And that's no hate to the current leader of the gay and autistic group of people, but I'd do it better. Oh, there's a cormorant. That is a bird that dives underneath water to catch fish. See if he does it. Oh, no, he's flying away. Cormorants are definitely better than herons because they dive under the water to catch their fish. There's a bit of, you know, there's a bit of difficulty to it, rather than, you know, just, you know, swooping in on a pond and with their massive long beaks like heron do. I fucking hate herons. Don't get me started. I believe in segregation for birds like herons. And that's why we should leave the EHRC. Joking. I think we should stay in it. But the Tories don't like it. So if the Tories were to get in power and leave the EHRC, I wouldn't be sad, because then we could discriminate against herons. So the cormorants can have more fish because they're hard-working people. And that, of course, is a joke. I don't believe in segregation for any peoples, other than maybe herons. But it depends what the day is when you ask me that question. Anyway, I got sidetracked again, I think. Free will. Yeah, I don't believe in it. Not anymore. I've come to be more open to religious beliefs in my later life. This is my later life. This is just post-childhood, really. But yeah, I think there's a creator. I don't know who he is. If he's a he, he's probably just a being. And yeah, I think he been creating shit. That's what I think. I think he been a puppet. Been a puppet master. And even just opening myself up to the idea that, you know, I'm not in a completely random world. I'm not in a great coincidence, and that, you know, something created me and everyone else. That has helped my life, just opening myself up to the idea of that. And, you know, a puppet is free as long as he loves his strings. And maybe there's some truth to that. But yeah, Free Will by Sam Harris. Read it, it's a great book. And it's only like 66 pages long, and it's about a fiver from Waterstones. So yeah, I'd recommend reading it. Overall, 4.5 out of 5. 4.5. 4.5 out of 5. That's my final verdict. Today's song of the day is Basketball Shoes by Black Country New Road. Probably my favourite band at the moment. I've been listening to a lot of their stuff. I know, I've been really enjoying it. But Basketball Shoes is like, it's like 5 songs in one. It starts with like a little lowly guitar, bass sort of riff, piano thing, like little calming. And then as the song goes on, it builds up into this like big explosion of brass and like almost rocky sort of sounds. It's just brilliant, man. It's so emotion inducing, I think is the word. Like, I usually listen to it when I'm walking back home from the pub really drunk, and, you know, I stick my earpods in and I listen to it on max volume, and I either cry my eyes out or I have a really dramatic orgasm from how good it sounds. And that's life. It's either tears or a dramatic orgasm, not dramatic orgasm. Dramatic orgasm. That's what life does, man. So yeah, give it a listen. So yeah, give it a listen. See if you cry out your eyes or cry out your genitalia. All roads lead to fluids with that song. And that was disgusting. Change subject. Over there, that is Runnymede Abbey over there, and that's where a bunch of nuns used to live. Little religious tarts, whatever you want to call them. And then over there, around that corner, there's a path from the Abbey that goes down over there, to the oldest tree in England called Ankerwick Yew, which is where Henry VIII proposed to Anne Boleyn. And that's just a sign that, you know, all marriages don't end up how they're supposed to, which is the unfortunate part of marriage that no one talks about. And there is, oh, you can't see it, let me just get a little better angle. That is the Air Force Memorial, which was at the top of the hill from last episode, and that over there is the bench where I was sat talking about poo, which is nice. And that is Queen Elizabeth. Rained so nice she had to do it twice. And yeah, Queen, that is a title only achieved by the most regal of tarts. That feels offensive to say now that she's dead, but send one up. R.I.P. Liz. And yeah, that's my buddies from over there in the back, the shell ducks, a pair of shell ducks. They were nice people. Good to get to know them. Hope I'll see them again sometime, but you know how it always is. There is some serious fishermen over there. You might be able to see, let me see. Oh, I can't zoom in. But yeah, they had some really long poles. And some rods. That's a joke, they didn't have their willies out. I would have a stern talking to them if they did. But yeah, they had like 4 grand's worth of gear, each of them, probably. And like, fishing stuff is expensive, it bankrupts you. I've done a little fishing and that stuff is expensive. And yeah, all the gear they had. But yeah, I'm probably gonna leave it here, to be honest. I haven't got much more to say. I'll leave you on a little quote, a little majestic Evan wisdom. Happiness isn't having what you want, it's wanting what you have. And that makes sense on a lot of levels. And that personally makes a lot of sense to me, because, you know, I've gotten most of the things I want in life. You know, I've accomplished getting into uni and everything. You know, I wouldn't say I'm 100% happy, but I'd say I'm about 48% happy, I'd say. And, you know, I'm happy with that, I'm content with that. And I'm content with being content, I think. Or I'm happy with being content. And that is contentception, or happyception. And I'm going to leave it there because I'm losing my mind. And my hairline's been pushed back a good couple of years. So, yeah, see you next week.